Hello everyone, thank you in advance for opening up the QR code and want to know more about my research topic. First of all, in this discussion, I want to explain the findings of a comparative study in the European Union handling refugees from Ukraine and Syria as two main countries that contribute a significant number of refugees to EU member states. As a result, in 2015 and 2022, there were large numbers of refugees that came across European member states as a result of the incident that occurred in Syria and Ukraine. And many reports have found differences in the treatment given by the EU to refugees from both states. These differences can be seen in the phase aid response, the ease level of entry, and the activations of temporary protection directive provided by the EU to Ukrainian refugees, while Syrian refugees have to face many challenges from several European Union members. I will be focusing on constructivism theory in the form of identity. In this term, constructivists emphasize a collective standard of identity which is formed by shared understanding, culture, values, and norms. The collective experiences affect of how the EU addresses issues like the refugee crisis, with response being influenced by the constructed identities and interests of its member states, derived from social interactions and leading to a consensus general perspective. The second concept that I will be using is securitization, focusing on threat constructions. This action of different treatment is a protection mechanism due to the construction of threats from the different identities of Middle East refugees and the European Union member countries that lived in the same territory. I will be using qualitative descriptive research methods in the form of searching for data from literary sources such as journals, books, theses, and other credible sources with several keywords relevant to this topic. Meanwhile, the approach used is a comparative study that will focus on explaining actions and factors that exist in the different treatment of Syrian and Ukrainian refugees by the EU. In the analysis, it is found that the European Union is an organization that highly upholds human rights and fundamental freedoms that each individual should have by prioritizing the human values stated in the UN Charter, the Geneva Conventions, and the 1967 Protocol. There were different responses on how the EU implemented quick activation of the TPD and ease of entry, and also providing an abundant budget to facilitate Ukrainian refugees in 2022. Meanwhile, there were difficulties in accepting Syrian refugees by several EU member countries, especially the eastern part, such as Hungary, Bulgaria, Romania, and Poland. And also there's relocation of refugees to third countries, which is Turkey, and there's no TPD activations towards Syrian refugees. The differences in time span and the strong identity constructions of European society have the potential to influence the applications of these unfair policies during the refugee crisis from Syria. Also, the reasons behind this different treatment reveal several challenges faced by the EU in 2015 until 2016 in terms of the difficulty of uniting voices between member countries with different social constructions and views related to identity issues, which are also caused by the rise of populist parties, as well as various incidents of attacks from external parties can ultimately lead several countries to implement securitization as a protection mechanism. This influenced the perceptions and failure of the treatment unit provided to Syrian refugees. Therefore, in 2022, the EU succeeded in uniting views and voices for the activations of the TPD as a mechanism for the humanitarian protection of refugees quickly and efficiently. That is all for the presentations. I hope you all enjoy it. Thank you for listening and have a great day.